Hello there. Happy November. I hope you had a nice spooky season, a nice Halloween. I also want to wish you a happy Sanheim and a happy Saints Day. Tomorrow is Day of the Dead. I hope you keep your deceased loved ones in mind. And it's also daylight saving, so if you do not have an automatic clock, then make sure to switch the time. So, today, I will be discussing something historic. As the fog creeps through the narrow alleys of Victorian London in England, and the gas lights flicker covered brick, one name still echoes through history: Jack the Ripper. This Ripper was never caught, never identified, and yet he became one of the most infamous figures in true crime history. But behind the myth, behind the blood and fear, was a real place: Whitechapel in 1888, where poverty, desperation, and violence collided. In the late 19th century, England's capital was swelling with people: Irish immigrants, Jewish refugees from Eastern Europe, thousands crammed into East London's slums. Whitechapel alone held about 80,000 souls, most living in filthy lodging houses where a coffin bed cost 4 pence. Alcoholism, robbery, disease, and prostitution were daily realities. For women, selling their bodies meant survival, being prostitutes, being whores, whatever you want to call it. By 1888, London's Metropolitan Police counted over 1,200 sex workers in Whitechapel, and among them were the 5 women who were later to be known as the Canonical Five. That was a name given to them by law enforcement. Their names deserve to be spoken, their actual names: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Edoes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Between August 31st to November 9th in 1888, each was found brutally murdered, their throats cut, bodies mutilated, and organs removed. The ferocity of these crimes led many to believe the killer had surgical skill. Others thought he was simply mad, driven by hatred, lust, or a twisted sense of purpose. The story truly exploded when the press received a letter. It began, "Dear boss, I keep on hearing the police have caught me, but they won't fix me just yet." It was signed by Jack the Ripper. Historians now think it was likely a hoax written by a journalist to sell papers, but the name stuck. Soon, London was paralyzed by fear. Then came another letter, the From Hell note, sent to the head of a local vigilance committee. Inside the small box was half of a preserved human kidney. The organ was said to have come from one of the victims. Whether that was true, no one could prove. The Ripper's murders grew in brutality. Mary Ann Nichols was found with deep slashes to her throat and abdomen. Annie Chapman's body was disemboweled, her uterus taken. Elizabeth Stride's throat was cut, but there were no mutilations, leading many to think the killer was interrupted. That same night, Catherine Edoes was slain nearby, her face slashed, her kidney and uterus removed. And then came Mary Jane Kelly, murdered in her small room on Miller's Court, her body mutilated beyond recognition. It was the Ripper's final known crime. The police investigation was massive. More than 2,000 people were interviewed, 300 investigated, and 80 detained. But no one was ever charged, and the detainees continued being released from the London Metropolitan Police Station. The search involved multiple divisions, doctors, and even Queen Victoria herself demanded answers. Rumors swirled about who it might have been. A doctor, a butcher, a foreigner. Even, maybe the killer was a member of the royal family. But none of that is for sure. The true identity of Jack the Ripper remains unknown. Over the years, names like Prince Albert Victor, Walter Sickert, and Lewis Carroll have been dragged into the fog of speculation, but no one has ever been proven guilty of killing these people. The murders did not stop in London. Life went on, but the Ripper's shadow changed everything. Forensic science evolved. The press learned how sensationalized crime works. And the fascination of serial killers, the same fascination that fuels much of true crime today, began right there in Whitechapel, England. Jack the Ripper was more than just a killer, he was a mirror, reflecting the fear, poverty, and prejudice of an entire city. Whether he died, fled, or was simply institutionalized in that era, the legend outlived him. 137 years later, we're still searching for the shadows, for his face, and for his true identity. Maybe that's what makes the Ripper so chillin'. Not who he was, but that we never truly knew who this killer was. I'm Santiago, and this has been Strawberry Ink. Thank you for listening, and have a hauntingly good start to November. Stay curious, stay safe, and as always, never stop asking what lies beneath the story. May everyone deceased in this circle rest in peace.